Welcome to JK Games, a gaming podcast where we bring you the gaming news we care about.
And maybe some that we don't.
And whether you play on easy mode,
or you like a good challenge,
this is the show where we'll try to level up your gaming knowledge.
Yeah.
There we go. That's all I have in these vocals this evening.
Welcome to episode number, do you know, Jerica?
87.
87! On the road to 100. We're pretty close, folks.
Oh my God, we're so close. I can't believe we've made it this far, Kayla. I think this, every episode we do, I'm like, well,
we did it.
We're still doing it.
We did it again.
Look at that.
Here we are. And if you're new here, I am one of your hosts, Kayla.
And I'm your other host, Jerica, and today we are going to talk to you all about video games and Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Because that is now out and in the wild again. Mass Effect is in the news again.
I know you were so hyped, Jerica. We are very excited to talk about that some today. I have not personally played yet, but it is on my list for next. And I really want to interview Jerica about it and get her first impressions and thoughts. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and dive right in. We've got some things to discuss today. So if you are watching us live on Twitch, hello, hi, welcome. We're so glad to have you. If you are listening on a podcast platform after the fact, be sure to join us next time on Twitch. We are trying to make time for some more live episodes because we love just interacting with you guys during the episode. So let's go ahead and do our loadout. Jerica, thank you for joining my loadout little
Anytime.
thing.
I figured I would do it this time.
Yes, I love it. So if you are new here, we do our episodes in 3 parts, just like a video game. We have our easy mode where we talk about what we've been playing this week, what we've been watching, what we've been doing. This is kind of our like catch-all area for we just talk about what's on our minds. And then we have our normal mode, which is our news. We have a couple different topics to cover today. Thank you, Jerica, for gathering our news. It's been a day for me. So we're going to talk about some new PlayStation VR stuff. We're going to talk about a continuation of the PS5 shortage, which has been a hot topic that we've talked about before in the past. And then I believe that is all. It's been a pretty dry week for news, Jerica.
It's a pretty dry week because everyone's playing Mass Effect, Kayla. Like, there's no reason for any other topics this week other than... Because it's 3 games. You got 3 games that you have to cover in, or talk about within a week. It's impossible. So people are still playing Mass Effect. That's just why there's no new news. No new news. Because everyone's just playing Mass Effect.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like. Mass Effect and then finishing up Resident Evil, which, by the way, Jerica finished Resident Evil 8 Village.
I did. I had to pause and actually, take a second to, finish that game properly before I dive in further into Mass Effect because, once again, Mass Effect, you got 3 games in one, and I guess for each game, it'll probably give you, or you would probably spend about 20 hours potentially in each game. So it's a lot of time. So, and I couldn't just go back and forth from Resident Evil to Mass Effect. It was a lot of, that sort of, I don't know, 2 experiences that I don't want. 2
very different experiences, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's very different games. So I'm curious to see how, how your mindset was going back and forth between those. But we'll dive into that later.
Yeah.
So that's our normal mode. And then our expert mode, as we've kind of already discussed, is in the season of these new games that we're going through right now. We've had a lot of first impression episodes. So we're going to talk about, she's going to give some spoiler-free reviews, some comments about Resident Evil 8. And then she's also going to give first impressions about Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And I'm going to talk about my experience so far with, I'm still working on Resident Evil 7, Bioshock, yes. And I'm going to talk about that in easy mode in just a little bit. So, and that is going to be all, folks. Thank you for joining us again on Twitch. Of course, we'll be sure to read your comments throughout the stream. So feel free to say whatever you would like, any commentary, feel free, and we'll address it and laugh at it and laugh at you. I'm just kidding. All right. So easy mode, Jerica. So you have been playing, obviously, Mass Effect. And you have been playing Resident Evil. Is there anything else that you've been sprinkling in between?
I feel like there was maybe just like a tad bit of something else.
Destiny?
But Destiny, that's what, thank you so much. Yeah, so the new season in Destiny started. Kayla, that's why you're the co-host in this this space.
The co-hostess with the mostest.
You really helped me, remember things. But yeah, I did jump into Destiny briefly because the new season started. And don't ask me what the name of it is. All I'm going to say, it's pretty cool so far. I love all the potential armor that you can equip. And they redid like the shader system. So the shader system, what a shader is essentially a color palette that you can apply to your armor, different pieces. And they've redone that a little bit. I haven't had a chance to dive into that just yet. But I'm just glad to not have all those shaders in my inventory anymore to deal with that.
Oh,
it's
I remember
a lot of dismantling.
Those.
Yeah, there were so many, and they just constantly fill up and I run out of space. So apparently there's a new system for that. I've heard some negative commentary on that because I guess how maybe there's some restrictions or some limitations that you may have doing it, but I haven't played with it, so I'm not going to give my commentary just yet. I'm excited just not to have tons of shaders. That was cool and all, but like the biggest thing, Kayla, from this season, there's, I guess in the story, I can't get too into it because Destiny lore is pretty out there and it's sort of hard to explain. But you have taken in to the tower some fallen refugees. They need some shelter, so they're sort of staying near your base camp in Destiny. And these little fallen alien creatures are running in, and this one had a little Shaw on, and inside the Shaw was 3 little baby fallen creatures. And I haven't seen any babies in Destiny. I almost said Mass Effect. I haven't seen any babies in Destiny, okay? Yeah. Or in Mass Effect. I can't think of really... Okay, I take that back. There are baby Krogan mentioned, maybe seen. I can't not remember. Regardless, baby fallen are in Destiny now, and they are so cute. They have little evil looking eyes and little eye, they multiple eyes.
They look like what's the thing from Star Wars with the hoods? What's that?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Not Ewoks.
You got this, Kayla, because I know what you're talking about, but
somebody in the chat tell me what I'm thinking of. I'm a fake Star Wars fan.
Star Wars things with eyes.
Glowing eyes into the hoods. What's it called?
Eyes.
I need to phone a friend. Hunter! Hunter! He's unresponsive at this time. While you're looking at that, Katronica, hello in the chat. We love you. Thank you so much for being our #1 fan. She said, feel free to speak so I may laugh at your words. Good thing I consider myself a comedian. Yes. Yes, you are.
Jawa, Kayla. They're called Jawas.
Yes.
Is that the plural or singular? Do you say the Jawa or do you say the Jawa? The like Jawas, kawaii? Jawai?
Jawai?
Like,
I don't know.
Anyways. They do.
Yes.
Now that you say that, yes. Very similar because they're like cloaked and they're like wrapped up and they're all you see is the glowing eyes. It's cute. That's how much that's as much as I've gotten to the new season of Destiny. Okay. I was like, oh my god, baby fallen, and I just stared at those for a little while. But a lot of new armor sets that I'm really excited to try to get. And of course I bought the season pass, so I have got to get back to that at some point. Luckily I have a few weeks, so
I have a question.
Yeah.
So with Destiny, I have played Destiny. If you've listened to the podcast, I did play it closer to when it came out, but I kind of let it die, and I still own it. I just haven't picked it back up. But when you have a new season, does it come with new like story beats? Like, is there more like to the story with each season, or is it just like a PvP like new season kind of thing?
Yeah, usually they do incorporate some kind of new little lore segment and usually a new baddie that you're doing some PvE sort of events against to get loot. And to be honest, I don't know why I keep doing that to myself because those systems are a little confusing and you have to equip the things and then smash the things after you beat the things. So hopefully that made sense.
A lot of things.
There you go.
Katronica in our chat on Twitch said, I've seen some cosplays of kids as Jawas, and it's adorable.
Oh my god.
That is adorable.
I gotta look this up.
That is adorable.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
What was I saying? Okay, so that's all you've been playing lately is just some of the new Destiny season? Besides what we're talking about in our main topic, of course.
Yeah, just that a little bit. And then, of course, Resident Evil 8 and Mass Effect. Mm-hmm. That's all I've been playing, Kayla.
Okay.
What about you?
I have been playing... I think I'll go ahead and talk about it here and leave the main topic open for our new games that we're discussing. But I've been playing Resident Evil 7. I talked about it last week. I actually made some notes to talk about this week because I'm trying to be a good podcaster, you know?
Oh, excellent.
Trying to be all professional.
That's what people do, right?
Yeah.
They take notes while they play games.
Yeah.
We should start doing that. I'm glad we're starting now.
Yeah. So I'm just like pretty much like gibberish, just like as I notate something in the game that I like feel strongly about, I started writing it down. Like the things that I enjoy and the things that I don't enjoy, which is very little. But I started writing things down. I think I'm a little over halfway. I'm about like 6 hours in. When I looked it up, it said the story was like 9 hours. So
nice, yeah, getting through that pretty fast.
It's so good. I am so glad that you told me to play this one because I love it. And I'm curious to know, like, you said it does connect, so I'm curious to know how it connects. Anyways,
yes.
So there are no spoilers also in this. So if you haven't played 7. Feel free to do so and listen to this as well. So my biggest thing is I love the puzzles. I love, sometimes I can get frustrated with puzzles if they're not if they're hard to grasp the concept of, and it can get frustrating. But I love also the aspect of the found footage, how you find the little VHS tapes. Again, so cool. No spoilers, but that's how you are getting some of the backstory. But also part of my favorite part is how, again, this is, I guess, sort of like gameplay spoilers, but nothing too serious. When you find the footage, you're playing in the footage, basically. So you're watching it, and then all of a sudden you're immersed into the scene, and then you use that knowledge of you in the scene. It shows you what you need to do in the main game, basically. So you find the secret passage in the footage that you're watching / playing, and then you're using it in real time. So I thought that's super cool. I love that because it's oh yeah, I remember that thing that I did 30 minutes ago that applies to my situation now. So I think that's super cool. I love the weapon play, how the weapons feel. You have some guns, but you also have knives, and you have things like that, which I find very interesting. I like the crafting system as well, how you craft the ammo. I like that. I think it's pretty user friendly. It's not super complicated. It's pretty straightforward. And I love the family, the cultish feel.
My God. I'm so glad you love it, because it's hit or
wacky.
miss with that kind of
it's
scary, right?
So
it's wacky.
It is wacky, but it's not I don't know how to explain this, but even though I do genuinely enjoy the Outlast games, it's a little Outlast is a little much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a little
there's not a lot of it's either you're running and just hiding, and you're not trying to learn about the characters at all, or there's not zero character development. Yeah.
This,
they're just scary creatures.
Right. This I feel is more intriguing because I'm learning about this family and what the hell is going on at this time.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting.
And they all have such great personalities. They're all so different, but equally terrifying. And you're just what happened to these people? Have they the opening scene is one of the things that I'll never forget, is when you're sitting at the table and the whole family's there.
Yeah.
And they go to feed you, and it's just, I don't know, worms or body parts or something. And it's just it just puts you in a space where you're just uncomfortable and want to throw up. Yeah.
Yeah. This game, that's a great descriptor word of this game, is uncomfortable.
Throw up.
And
I
that
was
sounds,
like, throw up.
Well, throw up as well.
Just makes
yes.
you want to throw up.
Katronica in the chat said apparently their dad told them that whenever someone pointed them out to grab things that aren't nailed down and pretend to steal them and then put them back.
Oh, it's talking about the Jawas.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we just went back like a while. I just wanted to make sure.
I love that. No, like if you're
miss
just
the
tuning
chat.
in, we talked about Baby Fallen and how that they sort of remind us of Jawas.
Mm-hmm.
Took us a while to get there, but
Sorry.
Jawas.
I thought that she was talking about Resident Evil, and I was like, wait, what? I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Which could easily, I saw the comment, I should have I was gonna let you roll with it. I was like, it could go either way.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, have I just not gotten to that part yet?
I love it so much.
I
love
also
that.
really enjoy it feels like a giant escape room to me, this game.
Yeah. Ooh, I've never heard it like described that way. That's perfect.
Yeah, it feels like a very in-depth escape room. And so
My
I love...
mind is blown. You're so right. Oh my God, that's why we love these games. That's why I love Resident Evil, because that's every Resident Evil game.
Yeah, it feels like an escape room. Sorry, I gotta readjust. And I love escape rooms. It's like a puzzle, but in like a we gotta get out of here kind of feel. Like it has that sense of urgency built into you. And it takes a lot, like, because I enjoy scary things, so it takes a lot to like actually scare me with like not just jump scares, but with like the like, oh shit, I gotta get out of this situation, like this is bad, where am I,
Bad
kind of thing.
Mayday,
what is
mayday.
happening? And so that's the feelings that I get in this game in the best way, like in the most positive way possible. So I just want to learn more. Like it keeps me wanting to like be involved and learn more, even though it's scary. However, I don't know if I should. This is kind of a spoiler. I'm gonna wait.
Okay, it's Resident Evil 7's been out for like 3 years now, so
Okay.
I think we're good. If you have not played Resident Evil 7 and you'd like to stay spoiler free,
It's very minimal.
come back in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's very minimal. Basically, I don't really like the zombies creature things.
Yeah.
I don't really like them. I don't think that I don't know how it all ties in, so I don't want to say that like I don't enjoy this part of the story, but like I didn't like fighting them was just kind of like it was very like it seemed out of place to me. I like went down in the basement and I saw all this and I was like randomly this monster was there and I was like, wait, I thought that like the family was the main like villain kind of thing. I don't know. It just seemed kind of like off-putting in a way. I don't know.
It would be cool, like, not to spoil anything for 8, similar thing with 8, like, there's always, and that's with every Resident Evil game, even I played Resident Evil 2 remake, as well, and of course there's zombies walking around, and like, it's sort of like, those are those in-between things that just that create a challenge for you to get to the next area. It would be cool if they sort of, like, figure out a way to not be so generic with just an undead thingy running at you, slowly staggering.
Yeah.
Maybe something a little different, which, by the way, 8's got some different things in it from time to time.
That's like my only complaint, though. Like, otherwise, and it's not even...
It's a valid complaint.
Yeah. I think that it's, like, it just was kind of, like, weird to me all of a sudden. I was like, wait, what is that? And I kind of got a hint at it when, like, Mia, the girlfriend, was, like, hinting at, like, people turning and things like that. And then now, the current part where I'm at, and this will be the end of the spoilers, the current part where I'm at is, like, looking for things to make the serum with. So I'm looking for, like, the baby head and arm right now.
Yes.
I love the map. I love how, like, detailed the maps are and how detailed, like, the setting is. I love the setting of this game. It's a little bit confusing sometimes. Like, there's the first, but I think that's intentional, which is fine.
Yeah.
And I like that there's, like, things that you have to remember to go back to. So you're like, I can't open this right now, but I know when I get access to this, I'm going to go back to it and get access to this other thing. I kind of like that. There's a lot of keys involved. But that's really all of my review so far. This is kind of like a half review.
I like it.
So Katronica said, no, I only watch other people play Resident Evil. That's fair.
Smart move.
That's fair.
I get it.
So
it's tough to play sometimes. Like, You got to be in the mood, but like I love it so like it's a good mix of like the jump scares, the scariness, the chase, but also just like you trying to get your way out of this house.
Yeah,
so.
it's not just about that, which is what I enjoy. So yeah, that's my like mini review of like halfway through Resident Evil 7. I'll do like a full review one day when we do like a spoiler cast or something.
We should definitely do so when you finally make the time to get to Resident Evil Village, which maybe we should figure out a time where we can both, where you could be playing it, we can stream it, like we're both on stream, but you're playing it.
Yeah.
I can help you, like walk you through everything. That'd be awesome.
I would love that.
Or just be there, backseat gaming, you know, which I've been doing a lot of lately with Mass Effect, and my girlfriend's playing, Audrey's playing Mass Effect, and just watching her for the first time.
I bet that's fun.
It is fun, but I am a backseat gamer, so maybe I'll just sort of reel that in a little bit if you can. If we got to figure a way to do that, because I'd love for you to play Resident Evil 8 sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and then like we can come back and do a whole spoiler cast on 7 and 8.
I may just like, depending on how I feel when I leave off Resident Evil 7, what my thought was to, because I know Mass Effect, it's gonna take me a while to do it.
Yeah, don't worry about. I'm liking where idea's going. Okay.
Okay.
So, where are you going? No, I think I like where it's going.
What my thought was to, I'm either gonna finish 7, and if I'm in the mood still, I'll go immediately into 8. Or if I'm feeling Mass Effect, I'm thinking about going ahead and downloading it and playing it a little bit, and then like dabbling in it while I'm playing 8. Like if I like going back and forth if it feels right to me, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you should definitely like, if you're feeling the end of 7, go ahead and just
go ahead and just do it. I might, and it might be cool because
it's
exactly what I did with Last of Us was immediately go into like.
Which I was about to say, like, you're in it, keep going, and maybe we can figure out a way to, like, let's look into streaming it.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do.
Let us know if that's something you'd be interested in if you're listening. I think it would be fun. I'll just be very scared, and that's okay. So yeah, that's what I've been playing lately. I'm sad because I kind of abandoned Little Nightmares, but I'm almost done. It's just like kind of a similar vibe of game. It's way more cutesy and like not as like horrifying, obviously, but it is intended to be like slightly scary. And so I guess like I will finish it. It's a short game as well, and I'm almost done, I think. So I don't know. I'll let you guys know whenever I finish that because I want to play the second one.
I do too.
Katronica said, I think the Dishonored series is as close to spooky as I can get to playing myself. Is that spooky? I don't even know.
I don't think so, but I'm sure there's some creepy elements. Maybe just like people, because you're just like trying to, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to describe what Dishonored is. I know like what the cover art looks like, but that's it.
Okay. All right, well, let's move on to our normal mode. Jerica, you added this news, so do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I can kick us off real quick. So, saw that this article came out regarding the new PlayStation VR, which we know that was already announced by Sony. Was it earlier this year? Yeah. Must be this year. Or, yeah. So we know it's coming, and they even unveiled the new controllers that you'll be using with the VR and the PlayStation 5. So this article is from Upload VR. I don't know who wrote. Oh, Ian Hamilton. That's the author of this article.
Okay.
Here we go. Sony's next-gen VR headset for PlayStation 5 has significantly higher resolution inside-out tracking, a vibration motor, and even fovented. Don't know what that means. I've never seen that word. Foveted.
I don't know.
Anyways, some kind of rendering. Foveted rendering. Reliable sources tell Upload VR. We don't know the product's name, but multiple sources tell us Sony shared details with partners. Those details include a resolution of 4,000 by 2040 pixels, a lens separation adjustment dial, a gaze tracking capable of fovented rendering. There's that word again. Need to look up the definition of that
I'll
later.
look it up. Foventing.
if that's the, I don't know. Anyways, a motor in the headset can be used by developers to give direct haptic feedback. So a motor in the headset potentially could vibrate. Is that your head vibrating? I don't know. Sony previously confirmed that it is developing a next generation wired VR headset for PS5 to release sometime after 2021, and revealed the controllers for the upcoming device with analog sticks and finger positioning sensing, plus resistive triggers that you can push back at your fingers when pressed, as seen in the PlayStation 5's own DualSense controller. So there's a few other tidbits here, but I thought some of those facts, potential facts. This isn't from Sony directly, but this is the headset potentially having haptic feedback. Something else that caught my eye, with no pun intended, was the lens separation adjustment dial. So maybe, because obviously this sort of ties into this information, but friend of the show, Josh, upgraded his VR recently, and I bought his HTC Vive to use and finally play one day Half-Life Alyx. That is on the list to get through all these games, but that is on it as well. There's so much. But one of the things and I have the PlayStation VR, now I have the HTC Vive. One thing I wish that, and based on, this is what I think this means, right? If I see a lens separation adjustment dial, like when you go to the eye doctor where you can sort of, when he goes like, can you see this? A is better than B. I don't know, some kind of like, my VR headset needs some kind of adjustment. Because sometimes I feel like the right or the left is a little off to the right. I wish I could just slide it in a little bit, because is that called your pupillary distance, right? It's different for everybody, right? Yeah, I've ordered a few glasses off Warby Parker, so I know what that means.
I don't know. I have good vision.
I'm lucky. You have no idea, don't you? Yeah. Anyways, your the center of your eye, it's a different places for different people. So sometimes the VR is a little harder for me to use because I feel like my right side needs to be the lens needs to be closer together. Guess my eyes are close together, unlike other humans. Regardless, that'd be really cool. And everyone's got different pupils. Yeah. But I thought it would be really neat that you could actually adjust that with the VR. So that's exciting. I can't wait to see what this PlayStation VR looks like. I already love the controllers. They look dope. I just wish it was wireless. I know we're not there with the technology, but I wish it was wireless.
I agree. For sure.
Maybe one day.
I do think we will in the future, maybe in the next couple weeks, do a whole VR episode. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, we should. I can ask Josh on. We need an expert on here so I can ask all these questions, right? Yeah. What's a faux vented? What was it? Faux vented something.
Some of our episodes with Josh are our most popular episodes too. A lot of people like Josh.
He's a video game genius. Yeah. He's the Nintendo expert, also a VR expert.
We'll have to have him on.
He's an expert of many things.
Let's petition to have Josh on. Do a VR episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
And you can talk about your new VR as well.
Yeah, so let's do it.
But no, that's very interesting to know. Do you think you'll buy this PlayStation VR, the new one?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm in from day one. Anything that PlayStation sells, I'm going to buy.
That's true.
Just, it's sort of sad because we'll go into the next topic. There's still a shortage of PlayStation 5s, and you will need a PlayStation 5 to use with this VR, more than likely. So, and I can go into the next segment if that's okay.
Yeah, since you put it in there, let me know what you think.
So, this is actually published on the 10th from Engadget by S. Dent. But Sony reportedly warned that PlayStation 5 shortages may continue until 2022. So it's expecting some strong demand to be hindered by ongoing chip supply issues. Sony is selling a lot of PlayStation 5s, but it may be some time before the console hits its true sales potential. The company has reportedly warned analysts that the PlayStation 5 will remain in short supply all the way through 2022, hindering future buyers and its own potential sales, according to Bloomberg. Sony sold 7.8 million units through March 31st and projects it will sell around 14.8 million by the end of the current fiscal year. Sky high demand means it could sell more, but it can't keep up with supply due to the shortages of chips and other components. And like other industries that depend on semiconductors, Sony can't provide an estimate for when the situation will improve. There's more to this article as well, but just wanted to read the first bit. Not surprising. Not surprising. I think a lot of technology is feeling this right now with the chip shortage. Mm-hmm. And, it bums me out because there's a lot of great games coming out, and still some of our friends, Kayla, can't get PlayStation 5s.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And I started trying to help one of our other friends just recently. Like, I'm getting back in the game. This should be pretty easy to do now. I mean, it's been months.
Right.
It's been like 7 months, I believe. Like, it's been over half a year, I believe. Like, we should be able to get a PS5. But definitely not the case. Still very hard to get. I don't know how hard it is to get an Xbox, though, in comparison. Mm-hmm. I feel like most places the Series X is also still sold out. But I haven't been keeping track of that at all.
I know our friend Oliver, who's been on the podcast several times, last week when we had our live episode said that the Series X is still hard to get your hands on. But the one
next-gen consoles.
Yeah. So it is definitely unfortunate. So, I mean, just keep your eyes peeled, I guess. But, like, it is sad. I think that we should also do, this is just another thought that I had. We should do a 1 year with PS5 episode where we talk about, our favorite things that we've played on PS5 so far.
So we can look at, the day it came out, which I've already forgotten.
November.
So it seems so. Yeah, November something, maybe. Yeah, we'll do an episode around then to see what's out and what's in the pipeline. Yeah. And if you still don't have a PS5, maybe we can
help. I don't know.
Just build up the hype for when you get one.
Yeah, I do feel bad. However, that wraps up our normal mode unless you had anything to add, Jerica. We have the Overwatch stream is coming in a couple of days. This will go live on. We're recording a couple days in advance, more than we usually do. So this will go live on the 21st, so it will have already happened. So we'll talk about it the following week with the Overwatch stream that's happening, which is going to discuss some of the Overwatch 2 stuff, which we've been begging for.
I'm excited for that. I want to see what's new.
Yeah, we'll definitely post updates on our Instagram, so hopefully you guys will have already seen them by the time we upload this. Sorry, I'm looking at Hunter. He's up there. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up our normal mode, so we can jump right into expert mode, baby. Let's go.
Let's do this.
All right, so Jerica, Mass Effect, it's here.
Yes, it's finally here. Mm-hmm. Mass Effect originally came out in 2007. Mass Effect 2 came out in 2010. Mass Effect 3 came out in 2012. So it's been a long time. And funny enough, I tried the series when it came out the first time, but I didn't like how it played, and it was really difficult to really understand what the heck, what's this game about? What are you trying to do? I don't like it. But luckily I revisited the series after all the games were out, which was just meant to be, in 2014 by one of our, friend of the show that we keep talking about, Josh. Just kept telling me, hey, you should play Mass Effect. So when I finally played, I fell in love. I gave it a chance, and definitely one of the best pieces of sci-fi medium I've ever consumed in my life. Like, it is up there in terms of, it is my favorite sci-fi story ever. Yeah. And it's so good because it is a video game, so it's not just a movie you watch. Like, you are put in the shoes of Commander Shepard, and you go on this amazing adventure with your friends, your gang, your boys, your girls, you name it, your pals, and you make tough decisions, you make friends, you make enemies, but it's a role-playing game, so you play the way you want to play, and it's cool. It's so cool. And then on top of that, it's sort of like choose your own adventure, like you, based on the choice. Yeah, so based on the choices you make, the game can play out differently for you. So replayability is definitely there. Like, I remember when I first played through the trilogy the first time, I immediately replayed the whole thing again. Like, that was already almost 100 hours of playing Mass Effect, and I went back around and did the whole thing over again.
Wow.
Just to see what other options there were and how I could, you know, affect some changes that I made in my first playthrough that I'm like, man, that stinks. I wonder what I could do to fix that so that doesn't happen my next playthrough. But yeah, Mass Effect's one of those games that hasn't been anything like it. There's been some things close, but there's nothing that's been on that level of like detail with writing, dialogue, branching dialogue and decisions that carry over to multiple games. Literally, there's a decision that you make in the first game that has an outcome a repercussion that you don't see until you play Mass Effect 3.
That's crazy.
So,
I remember you saying that, and that really intrigued me because I love that.
Yeah, so I hope I maybe sold everyone on Mass Effect just in that opening. That's my elevator pitch for it. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and it's just because it does some stuff that's never been done before that well. Mm-hmm. And man, I can't wait for other people. That's why I'm excited to replay it. Audrey, my girlfriend's actually ahead of me right now. But you know, besides it being updated visually, it looks beautiful. Mm-hmm. Even the first game you can still tell it's an older game. Like, granted, like the game came out in 2007, so but with the upgraded visuals, like the resolution is up there. I mean, 4K. It looks like a newer game. Mm-hmm. The visuals do, but some of the motion capture, even if there was motion capture, I don't even know if there was. Some of the facial animations are very dated. Yeah. But the upscaling of the skin and the color and the eyes like make it a little bit more bearable. Yeah. So keep that in mind when you're playing. But ultimately, like the thing that makes me most excited about this coming out, other than just reliving it in an updated world, is it being talked about and everywhere, like Twitter. It's what everyone's talking about. Mm-hmm. Is Mass Effect, and like watching Audrey play is more fun than me playing it, honestly, and seeing her reactions to different points and what decisions she makes. And I actually texted Kayla today, and I was like, you know, what I want to talk about in the show is maybe just some tips for people that are about to dive into the trilogy for the first time. I'm literally watching Audrey, and she's already made a simple mistake. But granted, like if you've never played Mass Effect before, you don't know to do this.
Yeah, I want to know before I start for sure.
So like I went through a way, like my Shepard has a certain story beat that that really vibed with me and gives you a good bang for your buck in terms of decision quality and story. Yeah. So like when Audrey's going through and playing, I'm like, oh, you should do this. Because I know something's going to happen, but I'm like, you should do this.
To make
she's
the
like, why? I'm
like, better?
I'm like, just do it. Just do it, I promise. Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. But at the same time, like, I want her to make her own decisions and, like, see what happens. Because that's part of the magic. So I'm, like, over here backseat gaming.
You're like, oh.
I'm like, don't do that. Please don't do that. But regardless, like, that's obviously, like, what makes me most excited. It's, like, anyone that hasn't played gets to finally play, and it's being talked about again, and hopefully BioWare wins some goodwill with this, because, you know, their past 2 releases have been duds. Yeah. Not duds, man. It's not Mass Effect. Yeah. Okay. I mean, even though Andromeda was Mass Effect, it wasn't the level that I expect Mass Effect to be, and Anthem was not the type of BioWare game that I was expecting. So I'm hoping this, like, pulls some people back in, gets the hype train going, and whatever BioWare does next. Yeah, whatever BioWare does next, it's, you know, we're a little bit more open to taking in new games from them. So, yeah. I don't know if you have any specific questions about, like, before you play.
So I would like to know, like, you said you had some tips for people playing the first time. Like, what tips would you give that still allow us to have, like, a personalized experience, but, like, would be helpful to know going into it for the first time?
Yeah, so probably the biggest thing is, like, there is a what's the word I'm looking for, like moral status as you're playing. So like some of your decisions may be considered Paragon, whereas some of your decisions may be considered Renegade. So Paragon's like you're a good person, you're making all the good decisions, you're just you're a good fem shep or male shep, whoever you decide to play. Or you can play as Paragon and you are just an asshole and punching reporters left and right. And just, turning off, like the council will call up sometimes and say, hey, Commander Shepard, we need an update on your mission. And if you're a renegade, you just hang up on them. So like that's, so like you could play like as a, better morals, no morals. So when you make decisions, they lean a certain way.
Is there any kind of middle ground? Yeah.
There is. But you definitely, I told Audrey this and she's like, oh, it's like one of those freaking personality tests.
Yeah.
So, it's like, go all in on one or all in on the other. Don't go in between. And she's like, no, I hate doing that. But in Mass Effect, you may want to do that because you're awarded points, whether you made a Paragon choice or a Renegade choice, and you want those meters to fill based on the experience you want to have. Because as you find out, some of your dialogue options require you to be a certain level in Paragon. Like, there may be an opportunity to save a situation, but if you haven't done or haven't made enough Paragon options, you may not be able to do that. You'd miss out on that opportunity. It would be grayed out. So you definitely want to start building up your bank with Paragon or Renegade, depending on how you want to play. That's my first tip.
Okay.
Also, I should have led with my first tip. Play the way you want to play, just not with me in the room. That may be sort of difficult. Play the way you want to play the first time, because it is going to be a game that you're going to want to go back and play again.
Yeah.
Just because it's intricate. Like there's some choices that you may not make, and you're like, well, dang, how could I have prevented that from happening? You look it up, and I'm like, oh. Well, I would have never known that. So, number one, play the way you want to play. Number two, make your Paragon or Renegade bank. Make it happen. You'll have better choices. And I guess number three, like I leave these in my top 3 tips here. I may add another one. Number 3 is talk to your crewmates after every big mission. So as you go through Mass Effect, you're gonna have your companions join you on the Normandy, which is the ship that you fly and go around and save the day in. You'll get various companions that you can bring on missions, and you want to talk to them, get to know them, because the more you get to know them, there may be missions where it makes sense to bring Rex because he knows something about this situation. Rex is one of the characters, and he may have dialogue that's added to that event. Like, if you would have brought anyone else except Rex, you may have not heard Rex say these certain things.
So pay attention to what your crewmates are talking about, basically.
Pay attention to what they're talking about. Pay attention to what missions you're going to do. Light spoiler, but there's a mission early on in the game where someone's mother is involved, and if you bring her on the mission with you, there's some dialogue there that you would have not heard at all.
Unless you brought them.
If you didn't bring that, because you can only bring 2 companions with you, only 2. And there's like 7 or 8. Maybe not that many in the first game anyways. You can only bring 2 of them, so you have to pick wisely. And sometimes like characters, like if you're in the elevator, these 2 characters may have banter that you may have never heard unless those 2 are together in the elevator.
That's crazy.
Like it's small little things like that.
I love stuff like that, though.
It's a little thing, but it's just like, it just brings the world to life, especially with an older game. Little things like that just really, that's what elevated a game from 2007, was those small details. So talk to your crewmates, figure out someone to romance if you want. You don't have to romance anybody. But if you do romance people, try to keep them alive. Also, make them happy. Sometimes you can date multiple people, but that can make other companions mad. They may not be open to it. You flirt with everybody on the ship. Some might be okay with it.
That's a fun time.
yeah, you just never know unless you get to know your crewmates. So, game's fun. God, I can't wait for more people to play it.
So
their first time.
where are you at this time? Like, where are you at in your replay?
I'm about 50, a little over halfway there. Halfway done with the first game.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Audrey finished the first game today and started that. She's right behind us playing the second one.
I would
She's on
love
Mass
to
Effect 2.
hear her thoughts. Maybe when
too.
I'm going to be out of town at the end of the month, maybe you guys do some kind of like spoiler cast on the first one or the second one. I think that would be so fun to hear.
I can tell you like Mass Effect 2 is probably my favorite out of the trilogy. It levels up so much. It's so good. And then also like if you are wanting to play like, sorry, I lost my train of thought. It literally left me.
Wow.
Anyways, Mass Effect 2 is my favorite. I was just waiting for her to get to the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had a comment.
I lost my thought.
Twitch. I don't know what.
I think your face distracted me.
No, yeah, it's okay.
I was like, what is she looking at?
There's a comment on our Twitch from Period Planet. Is this game a game about J.K. Rowling? What?
What?
Excuse me. Please elaborate. I don't know what you mean. How is it about? Anyways. So yeah.
Mass Effect.
Two is your favorite. So are you excited to get to that one remastered?
Just because like one's so good, it's just older and like they really figured out like what Mass Effect can do with number 2 because obviously it's a sequel, so sequels are always pretty great. But yeah, the dialogue and how you sort of get around the ship, how you interact with companions, much better in 2.
That is good to know. I feel like I have another question. Have you noticed it is the exact same as before? Like it's just a genuine remaster or any of the details changed?
My train of thought, it left, but then it came back and based on that question you just asked. So everything's the same.
Yeah.
Nothing's been changed with the story. Nothing's been changed with like character dialogue or anything. The only thing that's different with story is that each game had DLC that you could purchase, and it was sort of like not a standalone thing, but like essentially like you could access the DLC outside of the game, like in the menu.
Yeah.
But now, since with the Legendary Edition, all the DLC is like built into the game, so it's like a part of the story. Okay. You wouldn't even know it was DLC. It's just apparently placed in the game in points where it just blends in, which is really cool. So you don't have to worry about if old school ways before the Legendary Edition, you'd like look up. Back in my day, you'd look up if I'm playing Mass Effect 2. Okay, what order? Like when do I need to play DLC for it to make sense in the game? So like, there's some DLC that you want to play maybe towards the end of Mass Effect 2, or before a certain mission, or you do it early because it just makes sense. With DLC, before then, you just download the DLC and you could just play it all, but it could be scattered with where it's at in the story. So that's cool. Like with the Legendary Edition, you just play the game and the DLC is just in the right spot.
That's really nice, though.
It's really cool.
I bet that experience is different for you because when you played it, originally it wasn't like that. So
no, yeah, like already in the first game, I think there's 2 DLCs built into the first game, and I went through a mission and I was like, I don't remember this mission. Oh, this is DLC. That's why I don't remember this, because I never played that DLC for the first game.
Okay, so that is some kind of new content for you.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So you overall so far you are impressed, it seems like. I'm curious to see as you continue how your thoughts are, especially as you play your favorite one, which is 2, you said. Okay. I'm trying to think if I have any more questions for you. So it seems like you're also pleased with like the reaction you're getting from the general public. I was wondering, I haven't really seen any ratings for it. Are the ratings overall pretty good?
Oh, actually, Kayla, I looked this up before we started, and once again, you're a great co-host.
Oh,
the PlayStation 4, because it is a PlayStation 4 game.
Okay, I didn't know that actually.
So it received a score of 89, which is pretty good, actually really good.
Yeah.
The Legendary Edition as a whole got a 89, and then PC, I think, got like an 85. Yeah, PC got 85.
Okay.
So maybe some compatibility or how the game runs. Maybe that's something that dinged it a little bit on PC. So I'm not playing on PC, so I don't know how it's running. But PlayStation 5 runs like a gem. Runs great.
Gonna ask you about trophies too. Are you gonna try to platinum these?
So I looked at the list. Not too difficult, especially if you do multiple playthroughs or like it's not bad. And with this game, which is pretty cool, there's 3 trophies. Like when I was playing
Spyro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got 3 trophies. Well, this game you'll get 3 platinums as well. And actually a 4th because the Legendary Edition as a whole has a platinum too.
Oh, that's nice.
So you get 4 platinums. So that will probably be the 4 platinums I get because Kayla, I know I'm changing topics, but I looked at the platinum or the trophy list for Resident Evil 8 and it's horrendous. You that. Not gonna do it.
Bad.
I can't put myself through that. It's gut wrenching. Like literally, like I don't know if I can put myself through that. So
yeah, I haven't looked at Resident Evil 7's platinum list, or trophy list. I'm sorry, but I imagine it requires me to play on normal, which I'm playing on easy, and it's already a little bit difficult. So I don't know if I'm going to be going for that one either. So, but yeah, no, that's what I was going to ask because I know like trophies are a big deal to you. Like you like getting platinums, so that's 4 guaranteed already.
It's 4, easy peasy.
All right. Well, did you have anything else to add before we go that you wanted to tell our listeners about Mass Effect or Resident Evil?
If you've never played Mass Effect, go play it.
Now is
the time. You can't beat it. It's 3 games. 3 games for the price of 1, plus all the DLC. You're in for a great ride.
What is that
great
price
game.
again?
I think it's $59. So
that's
standard.
A great deal.
Yeah, 3 games for the price of 1.
And you said pretty much every game is around 20 hours. Is that what you were saying?
Yes, it can be a little more or less depending on like how deep you want to go. With the DLC added in there, I'm interested to see how long it takes Audrey to beat 2, since she's gonna do it all. So
yeah, that's really exciting. And is the DLC? It's not like an optional thing. It just like it's built into the game, like you said.
I guess like I haven't really. Like I said, I just had a mission to do in the first one, in the first game. So it's got to be built in, but I didn't have to do it. Like, it wasn't required of me. I just saw it as a task. And I was like, so, like, you can skip it.
There's side missions, basically.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. If anyone's playing Mass Effect 2, do not skip the Shadow Broker DLC. It is so stinking good. One of my favorite DLCs.
Okay,
so good.
okay.
Don't skip that one.
Do you recommend, like, doing all of the side missions?
It's a tough question. Mass Effect 2, yes.
Mass Effect 2 for sure, okay.
Without, I don't want to spoil anybody, but it's probably a smart move to do all the side quests for your companions.
Okay.
Just in case.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll have more questions when I get closer to my playthrough. But I really appreciate you. If anybody in the chat has any questions for Jerica, let us know. If not, you can always reach us at our Instagram. I totally forgot to go through our Instagram and everything. So our Instagram is at JK Games Podcast. So make sure to follow us over there. I was really excited to hear what you had to say. So
I know, we just started talking.
I even said, let's go through the loadout, and I totally didn't. So I'm going to do it at the end. It's fine.
It happens. Our brains are out. They're mush today.
Yes, mine is for sure.
Mush.
So at JK Games Podcast for our Instagram and Twitter. Our Instagram, we'll always talk about where we're going to go live, which we're live right now. Again, thank you to anyone watching us on Twitch. And if you're not, make sure to catch us next time. And then our Twitch is at JK Games Cast. If you want to follow us on there, and it'll notify you every time we go live. And then, of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us jkgamespodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. We would really appreciate it. I don't think we have any new ones.
Well, I guess that wraps it up. I don't have any other comments other than just play Mass Effect.
Yes, I definitely will. We'll keep you guys updated. I'm going to definitely be picking it up. Whether or not it's before Resident Evil 8 or after, I don't know yet. But I will keep you guys updated. And of course, you will know on our podcast when we do that. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched on Twitch, we appreciate you. Catch us next time. Catch us on the Flippity Flop. We'll see you next time. Baby. Bye.
Adios.